One. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Nerd BS. It is the 19th of November, and we are on episode 23 of 2024? 23? Oh my goodness. Now I'm lost.
You
season 3. You'll see the number. It's definitely on our Twitch. I'm sure it's up there. I did check that before I put it on. Yeah. 24. There we go. See? I got it. I looked it up. 24. It's just me and Kyle tonight. Hey, what's up, Kyle?
Prepared, yes.
I'm super Alan, prepared. Always prepared.
Heard me chirping back here. Yes. Man, this month is flying by way too fast. Fastest month of the year. It feels like that. We started like Christmas shopping, and I think that makes it speed up because then you kind of feel like on the edge, like, I've got to get it done. We got to get done. It's sneaking up. It does a little bit, yeah. It is nice though because we get the week off next week. Well,
oh, nice.
I actually have to be the one working, but the rest of the family, I for once have a job.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and
You're
I
part of the
up a whole other day.
A third now? Are we at 3 or are we just still 2?
No. It's still 2, but
still 2. Okay.
That's 2 more than I was doing, so it's a lot. So we'll be doing like a Black Friday sale, and it's been going well actually too. So, but yeah, I mean, my kids got the week off from school. My wife's got the week off from work. That's exciting. But let me ask you: when you say Christmas shopping, are you guys like gift buying, or are you guys doing decoration stuff?
Oh no, gift buying. We don't really do a whole lot of decorations. This is the primary decoration of our house. I think we have like some stockings, and that's
that
about
your tree?
It. That is our tree. Yes, behind me.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we we have ornaments, and we keep telling ourselves that we're gonna decorate it up. The time hasn't come. So, and we have a 17-year-old kid now, so it's not as like important. So,
it's not as like exciting. I'm sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys get together with family though? I'm sure that's still
fun. That's always fun, but we do it at my in-laws now, so we rarely do stuff up here.
You're saying you're done Christmas shopping altogether.
Yeah, we're
are you really?
No, we're not done. Sorry. We got Black Friday, so we're gonna be watching for that. I got some nieces.
Oh yeah.
They got a shop for my older niece and nephew. A little easier because you get them like one bigger thing, and they're fine. But little ones, you still get them like little toys, stuff like that. So it just takes time. And then we also have like a Secret Santa thing. So.
Oh, I love Secret Santa. Oh shoot, I think I signed up for one. I better check Discord.
I
know. There's time, right? It's getting close, but there's time.
Yeah, you got a little time.
I usually do this, but this year I'm like way ahead of the game. Partially because I started like buying toys as part of my side business to resell, and so I just have like some Transformers that my kid likes. I have some Disney toys that my daughter likes. So I'm actually like ahead of the game when it comes to my kids.
Nice.
I know. I was looking through. I was like, I can't believe it. I think I'm done with my kids. Like, I even have like little stocking stuffers.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. Yeah.
Awesome.
But now I gotta find one for my wife, which is not as
That's
easy.
always the hardest one. I don't know, at least for me, because it's like, especially with your spouse. I mean, if they want something, they're gonna get it. So it's like, Exactly. I mean, it's just easier at a certain point, but we still try to get each other something, but it is kind of difficult. It does make it difficult.
Right. But that's the difficult part, right? Like, you want it to be meaningful and thoughtful, but you can't just go get out the big thing because they already bought it. Like, so you really gotta dig deep.
They really wanted it, they would already have it. But either way, it's still fun though. So always a fun season. But
good. I agree.
So you said you got something on your mind?
Ooh, there we go. Well, I picked up Helldivers again. I was invited.
Oh, okay. You started playing again. All right.
A buddy of mine, yeah.
Oh yeah. And, someone I know? Is it the guy we played with last time?
Yeah. I know this show just reaches thousands of people, so I don't want to like say his name if he doesn't.
Oh, okay.
But is it you, Bottom Shelf? Are you who I think it is? Anyways, and I want to get back into it. For some reason they gave me like, I hadn't logged in over 100 days, but I got some rewards.
Hey.
And so like I got new skins and stuff. Maybe I just logged out the last time I played and I unlocked something, but it's like, cool, I'm hooked. Just give me free skins. I'm back in. That game's so fun. And you can shoot robots now. I didn't even know that was part of it.
Yeah, I left right after the robots came out. I did shoot robots for a bit. They're a little more tough than the bugs.
They are. They're way more tough, but they're way more fun. It's like way more satisfying.
Yeah.
And it was difficult like getting back into it because the tutorials don't pop up right away because they're like, well, you're level 10, so you know what you're doing. But I don't know what I didn't know what it was. Like,
I don't remember what I'm doing. Is there an option in the options to like turn tutorials back on? Because some games have that.
That's a good question. I should have looked that up. I just went right.
You just went blind.
And luckily, eventually, it did pop up like hold L1 to use stratagems. I was like, oh, thank God, because I just kept healing myself. I was just like, okay, I'm out of health packs now.
I feel like the game was just like, oh man, he's really struggling. Let's just throw him a little bone here real quick.
This guy.
You have stratagems. You have stratagems. Don't forget.
Real casual here, but that's cool. I kind of got back into it, and then eventually, like, actually killed something. After a few. Yeah. I mean, you get lucky sometimes. You just throw grenades, you'll get a couple kills. But then the last round, I was actually doing pretty good. So nice. I'm back in. I'm going to try to play more. But then you also just traded me the Zelda game.
Yeah, I know.
For Paper Mario. So I'm like, oh, that might just take right over. Killed mostly. Yeah, I did. I did kill you mostly. If that is you. Bottom Shelf. That's a great name. I basically killed my team in the rounds that we played together.
Yeah, I was meaning to put that game on. I just haven't had a chance today. Unfortunately, I'm hoping to put some more time and put something into it a little later.
Do you play it like at all, or has it been a while?
Oh no, I'm talking about Paper Mario, but no, I haven't touched it in quite a long time. And I don't know. It didn't hook me as much as I was hoping. I think the difficulty kind of pushed me away a little bit. Like I was doing fine for a while, and then I got to a point where it was just difficulty was too much, so I just stopped. I may have to check it out again. I know it's a good game. I won't deny that.
What? Yeah, what level did you get to? Did you...
Oh, I don't remember. It's been too long.
Yeah, I'm just over 10. I think I'm like in a good zone, but if it gets harder, like I'll be right out. I ain't got time for that.
Well, I know you like to play games lying down. So there was a fun announcement today. So I know you don't like MMOs, Kyle, and I know I play Final Fantasy 14.
I do like them, but go ahead.
Okay.
I'll clarify. I just. Go ahead. No, keep going.
So what if I were to tell you that Final Fantasy 14, the MMO on PS4, PS5, and PC, is coming to mobile?
I'm interested, is what I would say.
There it is, coming to mobile. So the capacity is another company is basically rebuilding the game on mobile. It's not going to be cross-play or anything like that, but it is. I don't know if it's going to be. I don't even know the pricing model. This was all just announced, but apparently the entire game is going to be put onto mobile phones, so people can play it. It is a separate experience. They call it even a remake. They call it a remake because it is technically a remake.
Oh boy! So
it's that's already out.
It could possibly be Game of the Year then.
Potentially. I didn't even think about that. It doesn't look terrible.
Let's not get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't look terrible, but I don't know. I just saw it today and I was just like, I may try it. I may give it a shot just because I'm curious. But whenever it comes out. But the only thing I'm annoyed about is Final Fantasy 11 was going to come to mobile and it didn't. It got canceled. And I feel like that would have been better to come to mobile than 14 because 14's already like an alive game right now.
That is a weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But think about it. Which one is making them more money right now?
Oh, yeah. 14 leagues and bounds for sure.
And I hate that that's the reasoning, right?
Yeah.
I get it. It makes sense. But that's 100% the reason.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Let's milk it.
Let's milk a try. It's still super successful. There's always queues and I'm logging in. So, I mean, it's huge. It just feels weird that we're getting it on mobile. I'm curious to see what that's going to mean. I'm kind of annoyed it's not crossplay, but at the same time, I don't feasibly know how it could be. And like I said before, it's being made by a different studio. It's not even being made by them. So I just don't think it would be crossplay at that point, even if it could. Because essentially somebody else is making the game and then Square Enix is just publishing it. So, whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to try it out. I just thought it was interesting news that popped up today that I got from Wario64 on Blue Sky.
Oh.
Because he's on there.
Oh, he's on Blue Sky?
Oh, he's posting a lot on there. See all his deals now. He tempts me every day.
He's on Discord too, because there was a panic there when people thought Twitch might just shut down completely. So
yeah.
He's definitely not. He learned not to put all your eggs in one basket.
One basket. So that makes sense.
Yeah, but if you're listening, Wario64 is a person, I guess. It may be multiple people. We don't really know.
Gotta be multiple people or like AI. I don't know. They're always on top of it.
Yeah. Maybe it's one person with some assist tools, but they post video game deals. Probably like close to 100 a day, just random crap that will burn a hole in your wallet quicker than you can say Final Fantasy 14 on mobile. So, but he's on Twitter and I guess Blue Sky now and Discord. So, I check it maybe every other day now. It used to be every day. I've slowed down, and there's so much Black Friday stuff. It's probably just don't turn on notifications if you follow him.
I remember doing that when I was looking for specific things. I was looking for PS5s. I did that notifications because he was on top of it, when people were putting it out.
Yeah, he was like ahead of some of the companies. It was crazy. Yeah,
it's nuts. Also, when I was looking for the Fire Emblem Collector's Edition, I had
it's good, definitely for that stuff. The PS5 fiasco was. That's something that needs to be documented and studied a little bit more.
I didn't even tell you. We got to get into Penguin, but I did get it. I did swap my PS5. Yeah. By the way, I did it. They had a deal for $25 extra. I had already gone down $10 from the last time they quoted me. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I also got a warranty for 2 years, and I'm just gonna swap it in 2 years regardless.
Did you trade the old one in?
Trade the old one in. I got a new one. It's a slim. It's got a terabyte instead of it's got about twice the memory the other one had. It's pretty nice.
Now
a little bit faster, but otherwise it plays about the same.
Are you able to transfer data, or is that like?
So I was smart.
Cloud stuff.
I'll say I was pretty smart, and I did use an external hard drive I had, which I backed up the entire system before I did it. And so it did take about an hour and a half, but I was able to retrieve my backup and put it onto this one. So basically, everything just kind of flipped over. So that was convenient.
Only an hour and a half. Nice.
Not bad. Yeah, it wasn't terrible. About 3 hours to back it up, though. So it's imagine about twice as long to actually back it up before I traded it in. But still.
Oh, gotcha. Nice.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Oh, and the funny story was when I got it home the first time, not only did the right trigger didn't work on the controller,
Oh no.
which I was going to return. So I was like, well, I'm going to return the controller. I called them. They're like, yeah, you could just return the controller without bringing everything down. I was like, cool.
Oh, okay,
I have another
nice.
controller, whatever. But then as I was backing it up, just in case, I noticed that the lower C port was giving me error codes. So I just said, screw it. I'm taking it all back. I'm not dealing with this. This is
good. Yeah.
This is brand new. I'm not going to be dealing with problems for this thing.
Yeah.
Any longer than I have to.
That's a headache, dude.
I explained to the guy, he's like, yeah, no, he said he notices when one thing's broken, it's like multiple things. So it's I don't know.
So like maybe that's like it got dropped somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Something stupid like that.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned triggers though, because I scored a killer deal.
Huh?
It was a trade really. This is more retro. But I got, let's see if I can.
Oh, is that Dreamcast? No, yeah, it looks like a Dreamcast controller, right?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
Let me turn off the light.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, it's the Retro Fighters one. So it like has the more like modern feel.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I've seen those. Okay.
Here's the downside though. Why I got the killer deal? It's missing a trigger.
Oh, okay.
And these are like super common. They're not expensive. You can buy them brand new on Amazon for like $40. But I basically I made a trade for something like that was $5. So I got this for $5. It works. It's missing a trigger, and so I'm like, what games don't need the trigger? And I just play a game.
Can you just buy like a 3D printed trigger? Have you looked? I don't know.
I've not looked, but like it's so specific. I might just maybe because I have broken controllers, like a box of them. I might just try to shove one in there or sand one down, and
there you go. See what you can do.
But that's like my jam, right? That's my kind of project when I have some free time. Probably over holiday break. That's why I'm like, what can I play now that doesn't need a trigger? Because I don't have time to open it up.
Yeah.
And then and then like a screw goes missing or a piece goes missing. I'm like, now I gotta go find. Yeah. So, anyways, just wanted to share that.
Okay.
It was really cool. And that's if you ever come over and you want to play a fighting game against me on Dreamcast, that's the controller you're getting, just so you know, to make it fair.
Just to make it.
How about
fair.
loser? Loser has to use that controller. If you can win with that controller, then
this could be a Mad Catz. I mean, it's basically a Mad Catz, right? I don't know. Those ones are actually probably higher quality, but
these ones, yeah, the Retro Fighters are a step up, but
yeah,
nothing beats the OEMs.
Yeah, of course. Well, beyond the hardware discussions and other things, we came here for one thing and one thing primarily. I watched Penguin. You already watched Penguin.
I did. I finished it last week
So that was highly recommended by you. We discussed it a little bit last time. You gave us a little bit of a rundown of if you liked it or not. Now we've both watched it. I had a question. Did you watch the Batman movie recently at all? Are you just kind of went off memory? No.
Yeah, I can't. I can't sit through. We talked about it before we recorded.
We did.
Can't sit through. You said it was 3 hours.
3 hours. Yeah.
So
fantastic movie, but still 3 hours. Yeah.
If you break it up and attach it to the Penguin season, you get like a 11 episode.
Yeah, it would be like at least, because I think there's 8 episodes. Yeah, that's about 3 episodes at least. 3 hours. 3 or 4. Because I did notice a couple times during the Batman movie, which I was like, this could be. So I just watched the Penguin show, then I watched the Batman movie again. I'd already seen it, but I did think of like areas. Yeah, after the show, I had already seen the movie before. I had watched it previously. I just. After watching the movie, I was like, I kind of want to watch the show. I kind of want to watch the movie again because I was like, I didn't remember everything, so I wanted to see like what kind of moved over and everything more seamlessly because I remembered a lot of it. I just wanted to be reminded because the show was so good. But anyways, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. I feel like it was, but I want to get to the universe because that's where I want to go.
Right. So just quick announcement: there will be spoilers. The show's recent.
Point. Yeah.
If you want to watch the show, I mean the movie's been out for a couple of years now, so whatever on the movie. But the show just finished like a week ago, so we will be talking spoilers. So if you want to watch it, pause this and go listen to our other episodes. There's many other episodes to listen to. So now we're going to spoiler territory. So you want to get into world building,
all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, we'll get into it all, but go ahead.
So the Batman
Build Your World
movie was originally came out, and supposedly, and I have my doubts on this, but supposedly they had pitched it as an isolated movie. So it wasn't going to have sequels, it wasn't going to have connections, it was going to be its own isolated movie. Obviously, that's not happening because it did well enough. There's a sequel already planned. Could have been. And I think it would have been fine.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it did a good job. They tried to do that, and they succeeded. But we already know there was going to be a sequel. We already know now that the Penguin has come out. We know that the lead actor, which I cannot remember his name right now, I'm sure you'll tell me.
Haskin?
No, of the Penguin show. Sorry.
Penguin?
Yeah.
Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell has stated that he has been signed on for 2 and 3 of the Batman movies. That means now we're talking about a third one. Well, yeah. So Batman doesn't kill, so Penguin will. He can survive.
Well, still be there. It's just the only reason I mention that is because it just shows us that they're already thinking about a third one.
Yeah,
so,
I mean.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. Keep going.
But. And so I'm getting excited about all this because after watching the movie again, I really love that movie. I forgot how much I really enjoyed that film and that universe for Batman. And this Penguin spinoff was so well done that I honestly want more. I feel like we could do this for more villains. We could do this to villains or side characters or anything. We could build up parts of the universe without cramming things into another movie. Like we've all seen Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. They're great. Forever is great. Batman and Robin, I'm sure, has its lovers, but they do have issues with it just kind of cramming villains in there. Try to really fill it out.
Right, and then like add backstory to 3. Like Batman and Robin had 3 villains. Tried to add backstory to all 3. In one
Except
movie.
for Bane, who just was like the guy who had Venom and was a taxi driver. They really talked about him.
We watched his backstory in real time, right? Like
that's true. I guess so. Villain, he didn't have much backstory,
and it was terrible. It was a terrible way to introduce somebody.
Anyways,
like, a character like that, because no, we're going into it because this is Batman. A character that was my introduction to that character, right? As a child. And,
what an introduction.
Right, exactly. A bumbling idiot that can't even talk when in fact it's like quite the opposite. Super intelligent, very clever.
Yeah.
The runtime for Batman and Robin is only just over 2 hours, right? So they crammed all that into a 2-hour movie versus a 3-hour movie in the newest
Who in
Batman
that 3-hour
film.
movie we got Riddler, Penguin,
Riddles,
and Catwoman,
barely in it,
essentially. Yeah, but he was. I was just more thinking like he's a big villain. He's a big villain. Even though he's just like there, he's still like a big. He's part of his big rogues gallery.
Right, and technically he wasn't the Penguin yet.
No.
Right, like he hadn't rose to.
They called him the Penguin.
Show's about.
But he wasn't he wasn't that. I know what you're getting at. He wasn't like the big deal, but he was. They still called him Penguin. Yeah. The show.
He. I mean, and the show explains why he got that name.
Because of his club foot, which they show in episode 1, and it is. I think that was the first thing my wife saw of the show. Was
She like walked
she
in on
just
it.
walked in and there was this
Oh,
beautiful foot.
buddy. Yeah.
She did come in and out. She saw bits of it, and she you could definitely tell it pulled her in from time to time, but she didn't stay focused.
Yeah.
It was a bit
That's
violent.
exactly what
Yeah.
my wife did. I was like the exact same thing. Like she's like, she'd come in and be like, "There's no way that's Colin Farrell. There's no way that's him." I'm like, "Yeah, apparently so." Because he changed his voice so much too.
Yeah. There's a video out now where it shows him giving like a thank you speech to the cast and everybody else in the makeup, but in Colin Farrell's regular voice, and it looks
That's so weird.
bizarre.
Because he's Scottish, isn't he?
Yeah, he has a heavy Scottish accent.
Which is coming from the Penguin. Like we've had the British Penguin, I think, in the Arkham games, but like just after watching a whole show where he's basically like mafia, American mafia kind of language, Jersey kind of East Coast accent, and then to hear that, you might have to post that. Well, I don't know. That might kill someone's immersion, but I'm gonna have to look that up.
I thought about it too, because I could get the video probably pretty easily if I looked into it. But did I want to? If you want to look it up, look it up. It's interesting, but maybe watch it first, because he did a really good job. I didn't realize this. Like I knew it was Colin Farrell just because I heard about it in the from I knew he was it in the Batman. It was kind of a big deal. And there's even people that are kind of on the side of like he played the role really well. I'll give him that. But there's people that are like, why not just get a guy that looks closer to that instead of putting that much makeup and that much stuff on him? Just find an actor that fits those dimensions a little bit better than just trying to turn somebody into that. But neither here nor there. What do you mean?
Ooh, give me.
I don't know. I didn't look at who because I didn't look past that.
Is James Gandolfini, and he's no longer with us. So
I'm sure there's some larger, less attractive people in Hollywood that are trying to make it.
It's a bigger name, though. That's what my point is.
Oh, a bigger name? No, of course not.
Because you could have, like, if we're going down that road, I'm going to go off on a tangent here. If you go look at the live action Grinch movie, you could have found some green hairy dude living out in the woods.
Okay, that's a little extreme, but that's a little extreme. I mean, I'm not for or against what this was, but yeah.
Yeah. You get Jim Carrey. But here's the thing, it paid off, right? It really paid off. If you haven't heard, like, if you're listening and you haven't figured it out, we really like this show. Probably my top show of the year, for shows that have come out this year, which isn't a lot, but
I haven't watched much. Yeah,
I don't know if I've watched everything that's come out, and I don't know if there has been a lot that's come out because it's been a weird year post that writer strike. But stuff is finally starting to trickle out. Here's my my weekly Apple TV plug. Silo season 2 is out. Severance comes out in January, and the show that I keep getting you guys to watch, Mythic Quest, finally has a new season coming out. And
oh man, yeah.
Funny enough, I just canceled my subscription to Apple TV because I was like, I guess I've seen it all. And then I see these announcements roll out. I'm like, you gotta be looking when I think I'm out, drag me back in. So, anyways, there's my shameless Apple TV plug. There's a ton of good stuff on there too, that's just waiting for people to waste their money on.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this show, The Penguin, going back to The Penguin, this is on HBO. Mm-hmm. Or what's it called?
HBO Max.
No, it's just called Max now.
I think you are correct. It is just Max.
It's just Max. So, do you remember what it was called? HBO Now? Do you remember that? They had an app. I think their first app was HBO Now.
Yeah, I think so.
It was separate. Like, you couldn't even get all the HBO stuff. And then they did HBO Max, and they had HBO Now simultaneously. And then they merged Now into HBO Max, and now it's just Max. And it's like, can you stop? Can you just say HBO? Like, why Why are we doing all this? Why did you go from HBO to Max? It's so stupid. Anyways,
Yeah.
back to Penguin. Go ahead, take it away.
Anyways, all right. So yeah, I did put the trailer on so you can see it if you're on the Twitch channel. You'll probably hear in the background on our. Actually, you won't hear in the background on our podcast because the way it's recorded. But yeah, I'm trying to think where to like begin. You get to watch the Penguin go from where he is in the movie, the Batman film.
From the end of the movie, yep.
The end of the movie, where he's just he starts off and he's basically trying to take over. And they kind of mention it in the movie itself, that there's a hole left because Falcone is dead. Carmine Falcone, I think I hope that's saying that right.
Yeah.
Falcone. He died. The actor is different in the Penguin show, which I did have to look up to see why. It was a scheduling conflicts, and apparently he didn't want to deal with being a strangler again on.
Oh yeah, because
the character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he stepped away.
I got his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other guy they got is
he's
really
fine.
Good.
I had no complaints.
I forgot the other
worked
guy's
out.
name, but it was confusing because it's like this. Like I don't know who that guy is, and it was like I had they did explain it, but I was like, and I looked it up too. I was like, oh, that's right, they got a new actor. So
yeah, so he's replaced. Who's that?
The Jesus bottom shelf. Man, we got chatters. I don't know what that means. Bottom shelf. Oh
yeah,
we did a Big Lebowski quote.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's right.
There we go. John Turturro, thank you. There we go. There's her.
Yeah, John Turturro wasn't able to reprise the role. He wasn't in it too much. Anyways, there's mostly little flashbacks. I don't recall there being too many instances of him being there, but still. But we had it interesting of him rising up, and he kind of got, at least for me. Okay, so after watching this and the Batman, I did get the vibe that they're really pushing this idea about how the wealthy are on a separate level than everybody else, which is why crime is kind of taking over in Gotham itself, because it seems like either you're up or you're down. There's nobody really in between. Mm-hmm. So when the floods happened, the places that got taken care of were the wealthy areas, whereas the poor areas, the east side, was kind of just neglected to the point where they don't even have power yet. So, which is causing, obviously, distress and issues, which Penguin is in more crime, and Penguin is utilizing this for his own good, which, again, back to the Batman, it really kind of gets you behind, the whole Riddler stuff. Like, I think they're doing a really good job in this series, like depicting that the Batman's not really a good guy. He's just a messed up rich person. Yeah. That's kind of trying, but doing it in a weird way. Yeah.
Right. His intentions are good, right? And the no killing thing is good because as you watch the show, obviously Penguin doesn't have those kind of morals. Right.
No, he's taking advantage of the situation 100%.
100%. And but Batman does have some morals. He will break your bones, but he won't kill you. And the intentions are good there, right? And he's also, I don't know how much they played into it in the movie that he's also just a nutso guy in a costume. Yeah,
I think they did a really good job of playing into it, because especially when him and like the Riddler are like up against the screen against like where the Riddler's basically going over the whole plan, and he kind of calls him Bruce Wayne but doesn't, and the way he kind of goes everything where he thinks that he calls him out for being Bruce Wayne, but really he's just explaining the whole plan and assuming that Batman was in on the whole thing, so it throws him off that he could be part of it like that. It was kind of like looking in a mirror, because that's the other thing with the Riddler was also an orphan. So, you know what I mean? So,
right, which was a cool scene. It was a little confusing.
Yeah, did a good job of surprising
very well acted. I forget that name. Maybe Bottom Shelf knows. He's really good with that stuff. He's really good with knowing and like the directors and
Names.
everything. But yeah, that part was pretty cool. Where it was like almost like a mirror, but it was between the glass, right? When he was like,
Yeah. When he's like going to talk to him at the
interviewing
Arkham after he gets arrested.
yeah, and yeah, so they do have that running theme about like classism and wealthy and all that. And then what I really liked about the show is that they had a scene towards the end where Penguin gets power turned on, all just for his mom.
Yes,
right? Like he goes and he like threatens this guy and like does all this work to get the power turned on, all just basically for his mom and for himself.
Yeah,
and he gets it done. And there's like this sense of like and for me I was like, oh, they're not like Penguin to be like an anti-villain, right? Where it's like he's really doing good, and then like I don't even want to say. I know we said spoilers, but the ending, you're like, oh, this guy's not good at all. No way. Yeah.
Oh.
So
okay.
I was glad they went down that road.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. They really try to paint him as an anti-hero for a lot of the movie show. And you're kind of like, and there's definitely scenes where he twists back and forth. And I think it was just well done that they were tricking the audience, like how he was tricking everybody else, how he's constantly lying to people, constantly turning on them.
Yeah.
Like they're doing the same thing to the audience. Like, it's just like, oh my goodness. The whole thing was
that. Yeah. So, what's one that I know I don't want to spoil it, even though we said spoilers, but there's just
do it, man. Do it.
There's so many twists. So like his sidekick you get, which you kind of like.
Yeah, Victor.
Yeah, and the actor did okay.
He did good.
Wasn't great. Most of the actors in the show did really good, but that one, the younger guy, did okay. But you start to grow to like him, and you're like, hey, this guy's he's going to be the Penguin sidekick. Can't wait to see what he does in the movie, right? Like if he makes it.
Yeah.
I also didn't think he'd make it. And then at the end, they make it through the whole show. Like Penguin finally gets power, but Penguin has a moment of weakness, and his sidekick Vic was with him, and Penguin goes, yeah, you can't. Anyone that sees me weak is a liability, and he just strangles him to death, like right then and there.
Okay. Maybe I wasn't listening, but I did not interpret it that way at all. I kind of got, I don't know what he says in the line, but I got the vibe, because this is right after his mom dies or becomes a vegetable.
Yeah.
And we find out that he doesn't kill her, which she asked for him to do if that happened, which goes along the lines of that. We're like so far ahead right now. Basically, we learn that the Penguin or Ozzy is a narcissist, like a heavy narcissist.
Super,
yes. He ends up killing his brothers when he's a kid. Like, we find out that his brothers had died earlier, and he tells everybody his brothers are dead. He tells everybody his mom's dead, but his mom is obviously alive. He's just keeping her not being seen, so that way nobody has anything to hold over him. But then after it comes out, like he has to like say it out loud that he killed his brothers to get his mom to himself. He loves his mom. But at the same time, it's like a real selfish love. What was that?
Did he ever say it? He never says it. To save his mom.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think he actually physically says it. I know they're trying to get him to say it. I don't think he ever admits it.
He never does in front of his mom, even though she already knows that he killed his own brother.
She said it. Yeah, she said it to him.
She said it to his face, and he still didn't go, yeah, you're right.
He didn't acknowledge it.
Didn't say it. That's how crazy he is.
But she was utilizing him too, because she basically kind of used him as a ticket to go up. It was either that or have him killed, I guess, were her options. But so basically,
the whole relationship is just the most dysfunctional you could possibly imagine.
All over the place.
She's about to have him murdered by the mafia, and she goes, "Oh, never mind. You know what? He's crazy enough to take me to the top. I'm gonna ride this crazy train." And they make it, but she turns into a vegetable because of it, and then
keeps her alive.
The whole thing.
And so back with the narcissism, that's what I was getting at. Is that I felt that he was killing Vic because he was too close to Vic. Like, I think he was basically he was like, you know what? I noticed how well they used my own mom against me. I don't want that again.
Yeah. No, that was part of it.
Yeah, that's the
The
okay.
weakness thing was like because they bonded together, right? He became like a father as a father figure. He was there and like, mourned with him as his mother died, became close to his mom, and you're right. You had the same idea.
Okay,
Penguin sees it as a weakness rather than a strength for somebody to boost him up. He goes, I have to just kill this guy because, if he gets kidnapped or something, then I'm going to go through this all again. And going back to the crazy Batman thing, all the more reason why Batman is, in the right, because like these crazy people are running the town. Yeah, Batman, as crazy as his antics are, it's like, yeah, you have to stop.
Yeah, that's valid.
Penguin, right? Like it makes sense.
But the town itself creates the villains, so you have to stop the creation process at its core. Go. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, now blame the city because Penguin didn't have choices along the way. It was all the city. He had no choices.
And anyways, that's I got that vibe, and they definitely are using that the classism and everything else against it. It makes sense. Especially with the Riddler and stuff. They're definitely those were terrorists or rebels, depending how you want to look at it. Getting rid of
Riddler.
all the people, the Riddler's goons. And even in Penguin, it shows the working man, the people who are stuck in these positions where they don't really have anywhere to go. And that even Vic mentions that the Penguin brought something to them that they didn't have, which was employment, work, money. Like he was helping them. Even though it was for selfish reasons, he was still doing that, which made them respect him.
Right. Which it played on the part that you mentioned, like as the audience, you're like, well, maybe, they are manufacturing and selling drugs, but he's employing all these guys, but then you see all his actions behind the scenes of what he's doing, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy has to be stopped. This guy's insane. Like, I don't care how many people he's employing. This is terrible. And let's switch gears a little bit. Let's go over to like individual characters, but yeah, the overarching, like, wrap up that section, I guess. The overarching story and the themes are great. Like it's one thread throughout the movie and the show about classism and how certain things kind of dictate where villains come from, and how even Batman contributed to the uprising of crime by flooding. Like he was part of that flood, right? And they mentioned him in the show, which I think they did great, right? It wasn't over mentioned. Nobody was afraid of him. They just mentioned there's this psychotic guy that flooded the place, right?
Yeah.
And he was,
did they blame Batman for that?
Yeah, well, I thought they did, because
in the movie I don't recall, because I was like, what was that?
In the show, they just Batman was there and he flooded the city.
Oh,
so
okay.
They wanted to blame someone,
that.
so I think they blamed Batman.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong, but I thought
I know in the movie he's helping them, but I mean it's always things can turn over in their head. He seemed to be helping people in the movie, but he was also in the more wealthy part of town, it seemed like. So maybe he
was helping people, but their point is if he never got involved, none of this would ever happen.
Yeah, I can see
the Riddler goons wouldn't have done their thing and yada yada yada. Right, so he's almost causing more. So they briefly mention it, and I think they do good. One thing I did not like, and here's a heavy spoiler at the end, and let me preface this. We'll get into the characters. The main quote unquote villain or enemy of Penguin is Falcone's daughter,
Sophia.
Right, yeah, and her backstories, they do really good. I liked all episodes of learning of how she became nutso crazy, and she does absurd mass murder stuff and gains power in her own family, which is just insane. And yeah, it's just two insane people rising to power in a mafia.
We can't deny though that the Falcones did make her insane. She was not insane before. They literally They put her in
threw
that
her
position and forced her to turn that way. I mean, I don't even think she was really that insane. I just think she just had a real bad chip on her shoulder and unfortunately was also easily manipulated. She kind of turned away from that, but she seemed to be easily manipulated at the beginning. Yeah.
She did. She was, and then she tried to when she came out of it, and then again, like almost like we're talking about how Batman created villains. Penguin almost forced her to just go full villain as well, right? With his, he tried to like partner with her, and then immediately flipped on her. it was fun to watch. Where like the first few episodes, he just gets in these nuts, crazy situations. Like, this guy's dead. How's he gonna get out? Well, you know he's not gonna die because it's the first few episodes, but he gets out and he just like betrays every single person he partners with. And so she finally flips and she's like, I'm gonna take over my own family. I think she did well. And then I was a little mad at the end when he finally catches up to her. He kills all her henchmen, right? And she has no more bodyguards, and you're like, oh, he's just gonna kill her? And I was like, I mean, it makes sense, but it was a wimpy ending, and he doesn't. He gets her thrown back into Arkham Asylum so that she could, which she hated, which was the place that made her go crazy, right? Like, just, she went totally insane in that place. So she gets her thrown back in there through his, political moves and political power. And I was like, okay, that to me, like, stuck the landing at the end of the show, where it's like, this, he's not just evil, he's like one step further, where he's like, I want her to suffer. I don't want to just kill her, I want her to suffer. So he gets her thrown back in there.
I don't know.
It's just crazy.
I could see that. I'm just kind of, I don't know if he thinks like that. I feel like he just wanted her out of the way and someone to take the blame. I don't think he really cared about her suffering or not. I just don't think he thought about that. But
I think he did because of what she did to his mom.
Okay, I mean, I'll give you that. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, she did,
and he used it to his advantage to take the blame, to like clear his name, but also make her suffer even more. And the part I didn't like was when she gets into this Arkham again, and the doctor comes in and goes, "Hey, this is from your cousin, Selena Kyle." I'm like, here we go. There's a Catwoman tie-in. I was like, they don't all need to be related. Are all the villains related?
Well, she was related in the movie. I remember because that was her whole story. It was wanting to kill Falcone because it was her father who she knew had killed her mother. And so that was like her whole thing. So, right. But yes, it was another just tie-in, just to be like, remember that?
Yeah, remember Selena Kyle? Like, oh, but then it also forces their hand. That's what I don't like. Is that like, if it doesn't work out, let's say the actor doesn't want to come back. Now you're like, you have to retcon stuff, and it's like, why? It was such a good show. You didn't need to have that in there. You didn't have any of that. So, and they didn't throw Batman in, so which I wanted, but I think it would have been like a little meh.
I don't think Batman should have gone in. I don't think I would have liked him in there.
Yeah,
I did like the names. I did like hearing Blackgate. I did like hearing Arkham Asylum. Obviously,
yeah, that's great.
I liked hearing Bloodhaven in the movie. I even liked the Selena Kyle part because I was kind of curious because she did disappear. I would be. Right. It was weird. She would contact her and the thing.
That's the thing.
But still,
now you're forced to have to do something with that rather than just. It was such a good ending. Why force yourself into doing that? Right? Because my thing is. Because go ahead.
I was gonna say now because we're in a multiverse or whatever it's called, a universe now. We're at the point where we're making a universe. We're building a Batman universe.
Why not put a character that hasn't already been played?
Oh, okay. I can see what you're trying to say.
It goes back to like they already had to switch.
What characters are like? What characters are like linked up with the Falcones in the Batman series, like in any of the comics?
I don't know.
Like that?
Why do you have to link someone to her? That's what, like.
Well, because she's related to her. That's the only thing I could say. She actually is related to her.
You're tying yourself.
Oh, you're upset about even then the Batman. You didn't like that either? They're connected.
What? No, that's fine. Whatever. But like again, why does it have to be someone tied to Sophia? Why can't you just introduce a new character in the next show or the next movie where it's like, I met this person in Arkham? Or, like there's so many people you can meet in Arkham. Why does it have to be the character you already made? I think it's going to be tough to stick that landing. And we have Bottom Shelf is talking in our chat. He says, we demand Clock King.
There you go. Clock King. That'd be fun. Clock King or Calendar Man. I know. And when I was watching the Batman, when there's like a video he does, and one of them says "hush," and that's when I was like, oh, what? I thought it would mean something. It doesn't mean anything, as far as I know, but I just thought it was funny because I was thinking that too. But yeah, that doesn't bother me as much. I will say I understand your concerns, but I like it.
Kyle, I don't like. Yeah. I don't think it does the show
any good.
It doesn't. It didn't make the show better to be like, hey, Selena Kyle wants to talk to you. It's like, okay, this is the last episode. We're gonna wait 2 more years for a movie, but I want to remember it. And if you don't do something with it, or if you don't do something good with it, it's gonna be stupid.
I don't know. I think they will. I think this is at the moment.
Have to, though.
This really feels, of course, this really feels thought out at the moment. I'm really excited to see where all this goes. Mentioning Bloodhaven is actually pretty interesting. I'm kind of curious how far down the rabbit hole they can go. As we've seen with Batman series before, I think the most we usually get is about 3 movies before we have to get a new Batman. So,
like an actor?
Like a new actor. And even then, 4 is like tops for series. Like, I guess because you have Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman Robin. Those are all connected, right? Technically, I think those 4 are connected. They're supposed to be the same ones. I don't remember how many Batfleck was in. I know he was in a couple. I know he was in Justice League.
I think 3.
So 3. So only 3.
Technically 3, but never got his own, which was
I think he was in Aquaman too, right? Like a cameo.
I think he was one of the Aquamans. Yeah.
And I think he was in a couple others too, so just like walk-ons.
Justice League, and then big role, I think, in Aquaman.
Yeah.
Maybe not big.
Yeah.
Again, 3. Like, you're on the money.
So 3. Right there, yeah. Right? So it's like 3. How many are we gonna get? Like, feasibly. Like, okay. I would love to say we're gonna get a bunch, but I just feel like we got like 3 with Robert Pattinson tops. I just don't see him going further than that.
But they could really do good if they. So now, obviously, Penguin. They better have Penguin be like a big villain in the next one. He's got to be a big part of it. Otherwise, they're.
What if he just kind of stays in the background? Like, what if he just kind of like he just plays the streets? Like, he doesn't want to fight Batman. He wants to stay away from him. Yeah,
but he's got to be like one of the overarching villains in the movie.
I don't know. I mean,
unless they have another show come out then, with a different character, because like, who are they going to get? Catwoman?
Lots of options. I mean, they've already teased Joker, and one of the 3 is going to deal with Joker. They got to. Like, I would love if they just did it, but it's Joker. They're going.
Right, so let's get into it. Which I was waiting for this question, but which?
Okay, all right.
Which character do you want to see get their own show next, or villain?
Condiment King.
Condiment King is number 1.
Number 1
ranked villain. Yeah, he's got to be number 1. Not gonna argue. No,
yeah, that's a good question. Like a feasible question.
The first one that popped into my mind is Freeze. Right.
Freeze would be good.
They could do Mr. Freeze on the level they did the Penguin with like good makeup. It doesn't have to be like a goofy suit. Although Arnold Schwarzenegger's suit is top tier.
Well, apparently he still rents to keep in his house. I found that out recently. He has to pay $1 a year to Warner Brothers to keep the Freeze costume. Yeah, it's something ridiculous.
I mean, cool. I would too, but okay. Anyways,
It's got to be some sort of like legal reason. But anyways, okay.
Yeah, his costume actually was pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
it was a little bit more comic booky. But
I actually
anyways,
liked.
I think Freeze has a
I like both the
great
villains in that.
backstory,
To be honest, yeah. So
and like
he does
a great reason to, a great reason for like being a villain, right? And the audience would sympathize a little bit because of his wife and all that. And here's a comment: Alfred in the style of The Remains of the Day. Interesting.
Didn't they make an Alfred show? I feel like Pennyworth or something like that. Didn't they make a show? I never saw it.
Anthony Hopkins movie? That's a deep cut, man. Is he a butler in that movie? Okay. Man.
They did. They made Pennyworth, The Origin of Batman's Butler. Had one season.
Yeah. Live action?
Live action.
Or animated?
Live action.
So it's done that.
Yeah, I guess we've done. I remember Tomas. He's not on the show recently, but he was mentioning something about watching this show. I never watched it. It's on HBO Max too. So what about Penguin?
It's not tied to the movie.
No, this is separate.
Separate, yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm kind of ready for a new cinematic universe.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah,
show. There are 3 seasons worth. I might check it out. They also did. There was a Titan show, I think, also,
which was pretty decent. It kind of got off the rails, but it was pretty decent for the first like it was like a step above the soap opera shows like Flash
like the first season.
And Arrow. It was like a step above that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The first season was great. I don't think I got through the second season. But again, not tied in to the current universe, so it's just strange. Like, that one's not talked about at all. Like, and we don't talk about it. I haven't finished it, obviously.
Yeah, I know.
But that's a good one, bottom shelf. Alfred in this universe would be a cool tie-in. Although they could do plenty with him in a movie or a show. Anyways, did you have a villain that you would pick?
So a villain, that's a hard one to do, but I'd probably have to go with the All Ghouls. That'd be an interesting.
Oh yeah.
Especially without Batman, like a preemptive type thing. I can see that being very interesting. To get into that, like, that's very interesting lore-wise.
This universe is so ripe for that, right? Because I have always imagined, like, what are these villains doing when they're not getting the crap beat out of them by Batman?
Yeah,
because that's all we ever see, and like, a lot of it was just, for Penguin before he gained all this power, he was just doing boring stuff, like getting treated like crap, and he was a driver for a long time, so. It was interesting to watch. I would love to see more of that.
Whoa.
And more shows like that.
Just thought about Two-Face too. But that would be like a good, like, someone trying to do really good and just gets completely broken down.
They did
that could be a really fun one. But they did do pretty good in Dark Knight. And that's one thing about, like, I hate comparing this to Dark Knight, but I think I like this series better than Dark Knight. It is.
Yeah.
More grounded, if that makes sense. Like, I thought Dark Knight was pretty grounded, but it's pretty fantastical at times.
Sure.
So this one is definitely a bit more grounded.
When you'd be like, man, I could see this being a real person.
Yeah.
Just pure evil, though. Yeah, and there wasn't it wasn't comic booky, and it actually worked. They kind of took all the comic book aspects out of it. And just went full gritty. Like, if there really was a guy that they called the Penguin in a city called Gotham, he would be evil. And this is what it would look like.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How does this... So this show had to have a big budget, right?
Oh,
no question.
For sure.
So the quality of this show is, like, movie quality. Like, I watched the Batman afterwards. I hate to keep saying that. But, like, the quality didn't feel that much different. when I went to the Batman. Like it still felt like the same universe. It didn't feel like they were cutting any corners. I feel like the quality was there. So why can't we get like a Batman show with that high of a quality? Is it just too expensive?
A whole show?
Like a whole show with Batman?
Well, you got to think about it. There wasn't as many stunts in the.
Yeah, I guess the fighting was pretty low. But even in the Batman, I don't remember the fighting being too extreme.
So here's the budget, by the way. These are all estimates, right? We don't know exactly what it is, but it basically had a $300 million budget for the show, which you could do a good Batman show with $300. Even just do half the episodes.
You know what you just said, which is hilarious. We discussed this on how the Batman movie, 3 hours, could be a show for 2 to 3 episodes, right? Or 3 to 4 episodes, right? Sure. Like half a season. The 2022 budget, estimate budget for Batman is $200 million.
Ooh.
Actually, $100 million less than what you just said.
So, but you did
not impossible.
You did say earlier, maybe before we recorded, that there was lots of the Penguin, like, of the show where you're like, they could have condensed this. You know, they could have shortened it.
Oh, no, I was talking about the Batman. I would say the Batman, they condensed it. They could have cut it. Like, they could have made it into episodes. Like, there's points where it kind of feels like it could have ended, and then the next episode would have could have started up. Yeah, the next season, next day, or next week.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
Maybe that's the way to go. Maybe they try a movie, because I guess they're doing the movies.
Oh, they're gonna do a movie. But Batman's too big. They got to make the money. I mean, the gross for U.S. and Canada for the Batman was $369 million. Worldwide, $772 million. They're not making that much money back on Penguin. I highly doubt it, because it's a TV show.
However, the show has like guaranteed that I'm going to see the next movie. When before I was like
100%.
I might catch it when it's streaming. Now, when the next movie comes out, I'm there in the theater. Maybe not opening weekend, but I'm there. You know, like.
Opening weekend is asking a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
For a nerd of my age. So quick side note, I went to the theater the other day, and we'll talk about the movie I saw next podcast, but I went to the 9:30 showing, and I was like, I think I'm going to die the next day. Like,
I don't know how you go see a movie that late. I can't, no. I mean, at least you're down the street, right? So you're going home is like, not super far.
It's not. Yeah. You gotta drive.
Going home for me is far. Like that's a trek.
And that's the nice thing about it. Like, I know there's a lot of stuff you don't like about the theater, but there's like never anybody in there when I go to these 9:30 showings. You know, the movie I saw recently is newer, so there was some more, but it's still like there was nobody next to me. You know, and the theater, it just. There's barely, you can find parking super easy. We got right next to the theater, and it's my favorite way to go, except for when I have to do stuff the next day when I actually have to wake up. So maybe I'll just do, but like late night Fridays are probably packed too. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd
probably
say so.
The shows, although you're not making your money back like you did with a movie, it does boost the movies, right? So 100%. Then maybe you do your 3 movies and then and a show with Batman in it to bring up Nightwing. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Bat Kids, but then you did mention Titans, and so it kind of makes me feel like we've kind of already treaded a lot of that. So I don't know. I would love to see it, because like seeing Bloodhaven, and I'm a big Nightwing guy because he's like kind of like a lower tech Batman, and so I've always been interested in him. But we've kind of already done that with Titans. Like, I guess in this universe it'd be different.
They had the other Robin too. Gosh, what was his name?
Yeah, and I would prefer to see it in this universe. But like I was even thinking Jason Todd as well.
Yeah,
that cool story.
He was in the show too. He was in Titans.
Yeah, he was also in Titans.
They did pretty good with him.
But yeah, okay.
What they could do is the comic Dark Knight Returns, where he kind of gains that sidekick. I think it's a female Robin.
Yeah, the girl Robin. Yeah,
do that, where it's like a reluctant sidekick,
fun.
and then to end it. But I mean, it's been done, obviously in the comics, but where he finally just does murder Joker in that comic, where he's like, yeah, I've realized I can't stop you. So, and basically he's, coming out of retirement. That's just a cool story. If you haven't read those comics, like, man, that's a good one. That's the nerd BS stuff.
They even have an animated movie that's really good.
Chat. There he is. We miss you, buddy. K Bizzle.
Yeah. For sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else more to say about it right now.
You know me, I love my ratings.
Yeah, we can do ratings.
What's your rating? So here's the difference. We were talking about this earlier. You kind of binged it over the last week. I actually watched it per week, and it was a little bit more digestible for me. And you had a lot of info to take in, and so I'm curious what you would rate it.
Oh, I absolutely loved it. I don't remember what our scale is anymore, but
I just do out of 10. I always want to do out of 10.
If I'm gonna do out of 10, I'd probably give it at an 8 out of 10. I think it maybe could have been better, and I'm on hype, so because I just watched it, so like I'm hyping, and it'll probably die down a little bit. So I think 8 out of 10 is probably where I'll land. Because it was really good. It was really enjoyable. I don't know if I'll watch it again. I really liked the Batman movie after watching that again. I don't know if they brightened it up. It didn't feel as dark as in the theater, because I remember seeing the theater and being a little annoyed about how dark it was.
Like, where?
Yeah.
I can't.
But on my TV, it did not seem as dark. So maybe they did brighten it up a little bit, which did help a lot. But this was nothing like that. It was brighter, but it was also had a really good story. Obviously everything felt high quality. Nothing felt like it was dumbed down for TV or anything like that. Everything felt like it was movie quality, which I thought was pretty fantastic. It is HBO. They do have a high standard. So
they do. And it helped the show. It really did help the show, where you're like, man, this is a gritty environment. This is just like, I don't want to be there. Like, if this is a real place, I don't want to go to downtown Gotham, the east side.
Oh, yeah. I felt scared for the mom when she got out of the car, when they were like, he was trying to take her to the apartment. I was like, oh, that's a bad idea. It's a bad neighborhood. Roll them up, kids.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much we didn't even touch on with this sidekick Vic, other than, spoiler alert, he murders him in the end, which is like, God, that just solidifies the insanity of it. And so you're on the high. I originally, when it ended, I gave it an 8 out of 10, and since I've had like a week to kind of think about it and be like, what would I rate it? I actually give it a 9. I went up.
Okay.
And like, I haven't. It wasn't a 10, right? I didn't give it a 10. There's room for improvement, but not much. I kind of mentioned my one biggest gripe with the shoehorning Catwoman in there for no reason. Like, we don't need that stuff. Like, you did a great show. Trust in your show that you don't have to shoehorn the freaking Marvel, and which I love, the freaking Nick Fury Marvel recruiting end of credit stuff, right? That's what it felt like to me. So anyways, and some other stuff they could have done a little bit better, but the acting was on par, or not on par. The acting was above average overall. Even the mom did really good. And so, like, after a week, I'm like, man, they really did stick the landing. I think, remember last week, I was like, if they stick the landing, this show could be great. And I really think they did. And it took me by surprise when he didn't kill Sophia. And that, I think, that was one of the reasons where I'm like, yep, that's a 9 out of 10. Very clever. I did not see that coming. So that's my rating.
Okay. I mean, I kind of feel bad that I went lower. But we'll see. Maybe in a week I'll also bump up my rating.
Yeah, no, don't feel bad.
And I like the Selena stuff. I know you didn't like it. I did like it. Uh, but I guess I had one more question before we close out. Do you think they should do a season 2
Of just Penguin?
of just Penguin? Like after watching the show, gave it a 9 out of 10, loved it. They said we're doing a season 2. Would you be on board, or would you be kind of like, doesn't need it?
It would have to have Batman.
Oh,
or
you have to have Batman at that point, huh?
Or another villain. Like you'd have to partner.
Who is Magpie, by the way? I don't know who Magpie is. I know she was in it. She was killed.
This is
right?
where we need. This is where we need.
This is where Tomas, yeah.
Tomas, because
Tomas named his dog.
That's where he named his dog after Magpie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tomas, if you're listening, send us a letter via snail mail, and we'll get to it. Bottom Shelf says Penguin 2, Electric Pengaloo.
Pengaloo.
Yep, that is the name of season 2. It would have to have another character. As much as I'm raving about this current show, I don't want to watch another depraved season of the Penguin just murdering.
Well, he's already at the
people
top, right? So, like, where would you go at this point?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
so,
what do you do? Like, you have to have Batman. The conflict has to be something cool, like
either Batman, or maybe like something happens in the second Batman film that causes another character to arise, like Joker or something, to where it becomes an issue.
And that's where Mr. Freeze comes in, because Freeze isn't like on anybody's side but his own, right? He'll get in Penguin's way to get what he wants, and vice versa, right? So like a Mr. Freeze type of villain, whereas like Riddler would like partner with Penguin if it made sense, but Freeze is like, I just need, this is what I'm doing. I'm not partnering with you to do crime.
Yeah,
I'm partnering to save my wife.
I'm definitely on board with that. What you were saying with Freeze, because I think that could be different enough. That could be its only unique story. That could be like a series, and they probably won't. Yeah, but imagine them doing a series where it kind of explains all about Freeze and goes through the whole process of everything, and then it leads into the next Batman, where Freeze is the villain.
Yeah, great. I want it.
Like, that would be amazing. Yeah, that would be great. Great ride.
I mean, going back to Batman and Robin, I think Poison Ivy would be cool if they did that right.
Yeah. I actually like Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy. Same with Arnold. So they both did good.
Yeah,
but
it's a fun movie. It's not. Don't go into that movie expecting a gritty, realistic.
It was modeled after Adam West. Was the goal? Supposed to be modeled after that silly style,
and it works.
Yeah.
And again, I've said this before, just play the drinking game where every time there's a freeze pun, you have to take a drink.
Oh boy.
And you probably won't make it through the movie, just letting you know.
Oh, probably not.
There's more than you think. It's insane. Chill out, boy. That's my favorite one. So there's so many other villains that they could add to it, but a solo Penguin show, to go back to your original question, no, I don't want a season 2. There's nowhere to go. Like, he would have to lose power again, so no, I don't want it.
I agree. I was looking, I Googled it just for fun, just to see if there's even anything in the stars. There still isn't, obviously, but it did really well.
Thank goodness.
So yeah, but that's kind of what people are saying, is it did so well that maybe they would be enticed to do it.
If you have another character that comes in, like a Sophia or whatever. I mean, if they want to do the Catwoman thing, fine. They got to do it good.
Catwoman would be a fun show. Like, don't give her a movie, just give Batman the movies, and then Catwoman can have her own show, see what she's up to, what she's doing.
Right. She gets in his way type of thing, and they kind of duke it out. That'd be fun. It has to be a big name villain, that to get me to first season 2. Which is weird, right? Like a 9 out of 10 show, and I don't want a season 2.
Not everything needs another season, so I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
It was a great isolated experience, and I think it should kind of stay. I mean, not isolated because it's technically within another universe,
Right,
but
right.
it that his story, us focusing on his story is over now. He's just a character that's going to be in other properties.
Right, but he has a lot of power and influence now, and so
Yes.
he can really get in the way of things. And the other thing is, they didn't, after the movie, there was room to get better. Now they set the bar a little bit higher, so the next movie has to be as good or better, or we're just going to see like the Marvel downslide.
That's what I'm concerned about. That's what I'm concerned about. I was thinking about that today a lot after watching the Batman. It was crossing my mind because I was.
Is this peak?
Yeah, is this like the Batman is really good. Watching it a second time, it just got better. This show made it better as well than it was. It's a really good movie. This is a really good show. But we've seen this before, and it has bad habits. And it's WB. They're kind of all over the place. They seem to make good stuff and they make some bad stuff. So I don't know. I really am hoping that
take care of this current universe. Take care of it, and we don't need it right away. I'm good. If it takes 2 more years to make a movie, take your time, do it right. Obviously, like you said, the actor will age out or quit, whatever. So
it's not easy playing Batman. It never seems to be easy.
No, there is a time limit to it, but take your time with the next project.
Don't take too much time, because then we'll have to make him the old Bruce Wayne and get Batman Beyond in there, or maybe,
or maybe that's what we jump right into. But this was the youngest Batman they've made in a movie, so that'd be tough. Technically, this is like a true Batman origin movie, and
hope they can hold on for a bit. So we enjoyed Penguin, and next week I think we're talking about Venom. Come back to next week.
No, we gotta do it together. Ready? We are
Venom.
That was terrible.
Oh man, we got so much to say about Venom. Anyways,
we do. Yeah, so, Bizzle, if you're still here, make sure you go see that movie.
Watch Venom.
You gotta bootleg it. Do what you got to do.
I may advise to bootleg it, but we'll come back to that later.
Yeah, it may be worth your money to bootleg it. Hint, hint.
But thanks for joining us for another episode for Spoilercast, and don't forget, we are Nerd
BS. I forgot. You said don't forget. I forgot.
All right. Bye.
Bye.